What you're about to hear will completely change your financial reality forever. It is no coincidence that you found this video today. You were divinely guided here in this exact moment because an extraordinary transformation is about to happen in your life. God revealed a secret to me that most people will never discover, a secret so powerful that it has the potential to take anyone, yes, anyone, from absolute zero to millionaire-level abundance without relying on conventional jobs or traditional systems that enslave the masses. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now to receive more powerful messages like this, and leave this phrase in the comments: I am chosen for abundant prosperity. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to prosper easily while others struggle endlessly? Why some receive financial blessings while many remain trapped in cycles of scarcity? The answer is not in the degrees they have, the connections they know, or even how hard they work. The truth runs much deeper and is hidden in plain sight. What I'm about to reveal goes against everything you've been conditioned to believe about money, work, and success. This knowledge has been deliberately hidden because those in power don't want ordinary people like you to discover the divine path to financial freedom. In just a few minutes, you'll understand why your financial struggles are not your fault. You'll understand why all your past efforts may have failed. And most importantly, you'll discover the divinely ordained method to attract wealth without the slavery of traditional employment. God has seen your struggle. He has seen your effort, and now He has decided it is your time to prosper. You read that right. God has decided it's time for you to prosper. This is not an empty promise or an unproven theory. It is a divine decree that transcends the laws of human economics. I know this might be hard to believe, especially if you're going through financial hardship right now. Maybe you're unemployed, in debt, or struggling to pay your bills. Maybe you've tried several businesses, jobs, or investments with no success. Maybe you're on the verge of giving up. But I want you to know something crucial. Your current situation is not your final destination. It is only a temporary chapter that is about to change drastically. The doors of divine prosperity that once seemed closed are now opening right in front of you. What I'm about to share is not another get-rich-quick method or some shady scheme. It's a deep spiritual principle that has transformed lives for centuries, but has been deliberately kept from public knowledge. Think about the richest and most successful people you know. Do you think they simply work harder than you? Or is it possible that, consciously or unconsciously, they are aligned with this divine principle I'm about to reveal? We are living in prophetic times where God is selecting specific people like you, to manifest His glory through financial prosperity. You didn't find this video by accident. You were chosen for a supernatural wealth transfer that will happen regardless of the global economy, unemployment rates, or any external circumstance. All you need to do is open your heart and mind to receive this life-changing revelation. Get ready for a complete shift in your mindset about money, work, and prosperity. What you are about to learn in the next few minutes has the power to take you from absolute zero to millionaire abundance through a path you never imagined possible. Your moment has come. Your wait is over. God has decided, and nothing and no one can stop the flow of prosperity that is about to flood your life. But before we move on to this revelation that will change your life, I want you to do something extremely important. This is not a simple request. It is a fundamental step to activate the flow of divine prosperity in your life. Right now, in this exact moment, I want you to write the word "chosen" in the comments, in all capital letters. This is not a trivial action. When you write that word, you're making a powerful spiritual declaration. You're publicly acknowledging your position as someone chosen by God for extraordinary prosperity. This simple action creates an energetic and spiritual connection with the divine decree that is being released over your life right Now, it's as if you are signing a spiritual contract, declaring, "Yes, I accept my position as chosen for the wealth God has decided for me." Now, if you've already written chosen, we're ready to move forward with the revelation that will completely transform your financial reality. Get ready to understand why you'll never again need a conventional job to become a millionaire. For centuries, we've been conditioned to believe there's only one path to wealth. Study, get a good job, work hard for decades, save a little, and hopefully one day you'll have enough to live comfortably. This is the path we've been taught to follow. The path of modern slavery disguised as a career. But what if I told you this system was carefully designed to keep most people trapped in an endless cycle of work and scarcity? And what if I revealed to you that there is an alternative path, a divine path, that completely transcends the need for traditional employment? Let's go back to the Holy Scriptures for a moment. Have you ever noticed how those truly blessed by God rarely worked for others? Abraham didn't have a job. He followed divine guidance and became extremely prosperous. Joseph didn't start out wealthy. He went from prisoner to ruler because of divine favor, not because of an impressive resume. David didn't apply to become king. He was divinely selected and anointed for greatness. The pattern is clear. God's chosen ones do not depend on human systems for their prosperity. They rely directly on divine provision, which operates on a level completely different from human economies. This is the first principle you need to understand. Your prosperity does not depend on the global economy, the job market, or any human system. Your prosperity depends solely and exclusively on the divine decree over your life. Think of a powerful river that flows constantly. This river doesn't ask if it deserves to flow or if it has permission to flow. It simply flows because that's its nature. In the same way, divine prosperity doesn't depend on your education, your job history, or even your skills. It flows to you because God has decided that you are a channel for that abundance. Many of you have been struggling financially not because something is missing in you, but because you've been trying to prosper through human systems, instead of aligning yourself with God's divine system of prosperity. You've been searching for jobs when you should have been seeking purpose. You've been chasing paychecks when you should have been pursuing your divine calling. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this principle. I met a man named Carlos who had been unemployed for over 2 years. He sent out dozens of resumes every week, constantly went to interviews, but nothing ever happened. His family was on the verge of financial despair when he discovered the very principle I'm sharing with you today. Instead of continuing the frantic job search, Carlos decided to stop and ask God what his true calling was. For weeks, he prayed, meditated, and sought divine direction. Then one day, he had a clear vision. He was to use his knowledge of medicinal plants, something that had always just been a hobby, to help people. With no money, no investors, and no formal business plan, Carlos began making natural remedies in his kitchen and sharing them with neighbors and friends. He didn't charge, he simply helped those in need. It seemed crazy from a financial point of view, but he was following divine guidance. In less than 6 months, news of his effective remedies spread. People started coming to him from neighboring cities. Some insisted on paying for his products. A natural products company heard about his work and offered a partnership. Today, just 3 years later, Carlos owns a multi-million-dollar natural products company that operates in 5 countries. Carlos's transformation didn't come from a job. It didn't come from a traditional investment. It came from aligning with his divine purpose and trusting in the supernatural flow of provision that always follows those who walk in their calling. This story is not unique. There are thousands of people around the world who have discovered this same principle and were catapulted from nothing into abundance without depending on conventional jobs. They understood something fundamental. When you are at the center of God's will for your life, Financial provision becomes His responsibility, not yours. Imagine how liberating it would be to wake up every morning without worrying about money, without the stress of deadlines imposed by bosses, without the anxiety of possible layoffs or salary cuts. Imagine living each day in the perfect flow of your purpose, knowing that every need will be supernaturally supplied. This is not a fantasy. It is the lifestyle God designed for His chosen ones. It is the lifestyle that is available to you starting today. But here's the crucial point you need to understand. This divine prosperity is not automatic. It requires a fundamental shift in your mindset. It requires you to abandon old paradigms about work, money, and success, and to act as a true child of God, not as an employee of the world system. The good news is this mindset shift can happen instantly. You don't need years of study or training. You only need a revelation, the same revelation I'm sharing with you now, and that will be deepened in the next few minutes. Are you ready to leave behind the employee mindset and embrace your identity as a divine entrepreneur? Are you ready to see wealth flow into your life in ways you never imagined possible? If so, keep watching, because what comes next will completely change your understanding of how true wealth is created. Here is the divine revelation. The responsibility for your financial prosperity is not yours, it's God's. Let this truth sink in deeply. Your financial prosperity does not depend on your effort, your intelligence, your connections, or even your actions. Your prosperity is a divine responsibility that God took on the moment you were chosen to manifest His glory on earth. Think about that for a moment. The creator of the universe, the one who speaks, and entire galaxies come into being, the one who turned water into wine and multiplied 5 loaves to feed thousands. This same God decided that you will be prosperous. And when God decides something, all the forces of the universe align to fulfill His will. This is the revolutionary mindset that separates the truly prosperous from those who constantly struggle. Those who struggle take on the responsibility for their own prosperity. They try, plan, work hard, and often fail because they're carrying a burden that was never meant for them. The truly prosperous, on the other hand, understand that their only responsibility is to align with the divine flow and allow God to fulfill His promise of abundance. When you truly grasp this truth, something extraordinary happens. You stop operating in the limited realm of human effort and start operating in the unlimited realm of supernatural provision. It's like the difference between trying to generate electricity by your own strength versus simply plugging into a hydroelectric power plant. One method depends on your limitations. The other connects you to an inexhaustible source of power. But here's the practical secret that few understand. Aligning with this divine provision doesn't mean sitting passively waiting for money to fall from the sky. It means tuning in to your divine mission, the unique purpose for which you were created. When you discover and begin to walk in your divine purpose, financial prosperity follows naturally, effortlessly, and abundantly. Your divine purpose is the channel through which prosperity flows into your life. This purpose rarely looks like a traditional job. In fact, for most of God's chosen ones, a conventional job is often an obstacle to true purpose and, therefore, to true prosperity. Now I'm going to share with you the 3 spiritual laws of jobless wealth that govern this divine flow of abundance. The first law is the law of divine identity. This law states that your prosperity is directly tied to your understanding of who you are in God's eyes. You are not a worker struggling to survive. You are a son or daughter of the King of the universe, and all the wealth of the kingdom is available to you. When you operate from this identity, supernatural doors of opportunity open without you having to knock. The second law is the law of alignment with purpose. This law states that the greatest prosperity flows when you are operating precisely at the center of the purpose for which you were created. Your divine purpose is like a river of abundance already flowing. You don't have to create the river. It already exists. You just need to discover where it is and position yourself in its flow. The third and most powerful law is the law of transfer of responsibility. This law states that when you consciously transfer the responsibility for your prosperity to God, recognizing that He is the one who promotes people and distributes wealth, you are released from the crushing weight of trying to make it happen on your own. This transfer of responsibility creates a spiritual vacuum that God fills with His supernatural provision. These three spiritual laws, when understood and applied, create a new paradigm of prosperity that makes the need for a traditional job obsolete. They pave the way for a form of abundance that transcends the world's economic systems. Think about the great names of biblical prosperity: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Solomon. None of them had jobs in the way we understand them today. They operated under a different system, God's system of provision based on purpose. And that same system is available to you today. Now let me get extremely practical. How do you activate this divine system in your life? How do you move from theory to the real-life experience of jobless prosperity? The first step is a conscious decision to abandon the employee mindset. That means stopping the habit of thinking in terms of resumes, interviews, and salaries, and starting to think in terms of purpose, impact, and divine provision. This shift doesn't happen automatically. It's a deliberate choice you must make today. The second step is to discover your divine purpose, that which you were uniquely created for. This purpose usually lies at the intersection of what you love to do, what you're naturally good at, what meets a real need in the world. When you find that intersection, you've discovered the channel through which divine prosperity will flow into your life. The third step is to start acting from that purpose, even if you don't yet have all the resources you think you need. When you take the first step in faith, God provides the second, the third, and every step that follows. Provision rarely comes before action. It appears along the way. The fourth and most crucial step is to consciously transfer the responsibility for your prosperity to God. That means waking up every morning and declaring, "Father, my prosperity is your responsibility. I commit to following your direction today, and I trust you to supply all my needs according to your riches in glory." This transfer of responsibility is the act of faith that activates the divine system of prosperity. It's the moment you lay aside your limited strategies and allow God to execute His unlimited plan for your financial life. When you follow these 4 steps, something extraordinary begins to happen. Opportunities arise from unexpected places. People you've never met are divinely led to help you. Resources show up at the exact moment they're needed. Doors that once seemed firmly shut swing open effortlessly. This isn't coincidence or luck. It's the divine system of prosperity working exactly as it was designed to. It's the tangible manifestation of the decision God has already made regarding your financial life. Let me show you exactly how your life will transform when you fully embrace the truth that your prosperity is God's responsibility, not yours. First, you will experience a deep and unshakable peace regarding financial matters. Imagine waking up each morning without that oppressive anxiety over bills, debt, or how you're going to provide for your family. That peace is priceless, and it is the first sign that you have truly understood and embraced this divine revelation. When the worry about money disappears, your mind becomes free to focus on your true purpose. Your creativity expands, your energy increases, and your ability to serve and impact others grows exponentially. You become far more effective in every area of life because you're no longer draining your vital energy on financial worries. Second, you will begin to notice opportunities that have always been around you, but were invisible due to your old mindset. It's like a veil is lifted from your eyes, allowing you to see possibilities for prosperity in everyday situations that once seemed ordinary or even challenging. Where others see problems, you'll begin to see opportunities. Where others see scarcity, you'll see abundance waiting to be revealed. This new vision isn't the result of positive thinking or visualization techniques. It is the direct result of understanding that your prosperity is determined by God, not by your circumstances. Third, you will experience what can only be described as divine coincidences. Moments where everything just fits together in ways that defy logic. People will come into your life at the exact moment you need them. Doors will open without you having to knock persistently. Resources will appear precisely when they're needed. These divine synchronicities will become so frequent that you'll no longer be able to attribute them to chance. You'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are visible manifestations of the invisible hand of God moving in your favor. Fourth, you'll discover that your capacity to generate wealth expands naturally without pressure or strain. Profitable ideas will come to you even when you're not actively seeking them. Solutions to complex problems will arise during moments of stillness. Doors to new income streams will open without you having to force them. This expanded capacity doesn't come from business strategies or techniques. It comes from being aligned with your divine purpose and allowing the Creator of the universe to work through you. He is the one who gives you the power to create wealth. And when you recognize that power flows through you unhindered. Fifth, you'll become a channel of blessings for others. True divine prosperity is never just for you. It's so that you can become an extension of God's generosity in this world. As abundance flows into your life, it will naturally overflow to bless those around you. You'll become a problem solver, someone with the resources not only to meet your own needs, but to make a real difference in the lives of family, friends, and even strangers. This ability to positively impact others is perhaps the most rewarding aspect of divine prosperity. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, this all sounds wonderful, but how do I know it will work for me? But what if my situation is different? What if I have a lot of debt? What if I don't have any special skills? These doubts are natural because they come from the old mindset we are transforming. Remember, your prosperity does not depend on your current circumstances, your skills, or your financial history. It depends solely on the decision God has already made about you. It doesn't matter where you are financially right now. You may be deep in debt, unemployed, struggling to pay basic bills. Your current situation does not determine your financial future. The divine decree over your life is more powerful than any temporary circumstance. It doesn't matter what your education level is, who you know, or what skills you appear to have. Your ability to prosper does not come from those sources. It comes from the fact that the Creator of the universe has chosen to use you as a channel to manifest His abundance in this world. You were chosen for this purpose before you were even born. Your prosperity was decreed in heaven before you ever took your first step on earth. Every financial struggle you've faced up until now has simply been preparation for the abundance that is about to be released into your life. The only question that remains is, will you accept this divine decree? Will you let go of your old, limited ways of thinking about money and work? Will you trust that God has taken full responsibility for your prosperity and act in alignment with that trust? If your heart answered yes, then get ready. From this moment forward, your financial life will never be the same. The transformation has already begun. The decree has already been released. The abundance is already on its way, not because you did something to earn it, but because God has decided that this is your moment to prosper.